Good morning. This is Rachel with Infused Meadows, and today I'm making salsa. Didn't know if anybody would like to know how, but I'll show you, and hopefully you like my recipe. There are a lot out there, so if you don't, I hope you find the recipe that you do like. So I'm going to start with my onion. We all cut onion differently, so I'll show you how I cut onion. I like to look at the direction of the rings, okay? Sorry, this is a juicy onion. So it's going this way. I'm going to cut right down the middle so that it actually falls with the rings. I guess what you'd call perfect. Obviously not all onions are perfect. So you see that I cut this one side bigger. We're going to say this is a small onion, small to medium. I'm going to use 3/4 this onion in this salsa recipe. So what I do is I make cuts. I'll move this over so that hopefully you can see. I just go as wide as you like it. Watch your fingers. And then you're going to turn your onion in the direction that you're cutting. And for the sake of you seeing, cut it as thick or as thin as you like. So I don't want to go too thick for this. And there you go. So add this to my bowl. And then once you get to the end, I take my knife to the center, and then I make the size cuts that I want. So, again, at the end, watch your fingers. And then you just put your onion in your bowl. And set it aside for when you need it. And that's my onion done. There we go. Okay. 1 second, I'm going to put that part of the onion up, and I'll be right back. So in my little bowl here, I have 3 large cloves of garlic. All I'm going to do to these, excuse me, some of the skin was still there, is I'm just going to make 3 cuts and put those back into the bowl. I just do this because it helps the blades in my blender. I don't know why. And it avoids the large chunks, hopefully, to get, getting through. Oh, there's a piece of onion. Okay, so cut it, put it in your bowl. And then I have some peppers, I should say. So I use the equivalent of 5 good size jalapenos. You use whatever you like. But because this is not quite warm enough, I will be adding 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne to my salsa. You can do 4 to 5 serranos if you want, and then just add a jalapeno. You really want that little bit of jalapeno at least in the background. I think it enhances it, but because this is what I have today, I literally just pulled these off my plant. I will be processing these, as I call it, and then get those into another bowl, which I forgot my bowl. Be right back. So all you want to do is grab your end and then just pull that off. This doesn't work with every pepper. There are some that are just stubborn. I don't know why, but they are. I don't wear gloves. I don't find that the heat of the jalapeno bothers me, but if you do, wear gloves. And do not touch your face. That does hurt. You get this in your eyes, and yeah, it'll burn for a little while. So a lot of people take the seeds out when they're making their salsa. I'm going to say it's up to you. So I'll show you how I do 2 of these. And again, this is just so that it helps my blender to get this in a little bit better without leaving huge chunks. I like a smoother salsa. I don't like a really chunky salsa. That's just my preference. You do you. So you're going to start by cutting this in half. I like to take my hand over the knife and grab it and then push down. From there, expose the inside. I then take a smaller knife and I just make a little cut here around that stem and then run it under that vein. There you go. I have a bowl back there for this. So again, it's just make that cut and then run this along that stem and then pull it out. And then there you go. It will leave a little seed. I like a little bit of seed. That helps with heat. So to this, all I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, and then because that's so wide, 4. Throw that into my bowl. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4 into the bowl. Like that is what I go for. Alright, I'm going to finish doing these. I'll bring you back. Okay. To our blender. 1 regular size can of tomatoes that you like. Don't buy some that you don't like. I'm using the ones that I've found that I like. Just put that all in there. So just 1 standard size. Don't buy the big jar. I mean, you can. The big can. Apologies. You can. And, you know, just do the math as to what the difference is. And then that way you'll know if you need to double or triple this recipe. Whatever. To this, we're going to add those jalapenos that we did. We're going to add the garlic that we did. Missed a piece of that. And we're going to add our onion. And then to this, I just want a little spicier than that. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne powder to that. From here, I'm going to put my lid on and I'm going to pulse this for about 30 seconds, just on and off. Well, that's not right. I don't pulse mine in 30 seconds. I pulse it for a few and then stop and then go, you know, until you get this to the consistency that you want. I know nobody likes to hear the sound of a blender. We'll be back. So after 30 seconds, I have a nice, very thick salsa. We'll get to how you're going to thin that down. So we're going to put this into our pan. I will be pausing this because I'm going to clean it. I did a video showing you all how to clean your blender, and when in doubt, read the manual. It actually tells you the exact same thing I did, just as a helpful little hint. Anyway, I'm going to put this in here and get this cleaned up. I'll be right back. Okay, so once we have it in our pot and we have it on our stove top, what we want to do is we want to turn this on roughly medium-low. And to this, we want to add some water. Now, I'm starting with 3/4 of a cup, but what you're going to do is you're going to pour to your consistency. Because right now, as you can see, it is slightly thick. It doesn't just run off. And I don't want it to run off. I don't like it that's, you know, that creamy. Just not me. But you do you. You do what you like. So we're going to start with our water, and you want to pour it until you get the consistency that you want. So you will find, though, that this will thicken up once you put it in the refrigerator. So if it gets to where you're like, oh, that's looking a little runny, that's probably perfect, because once you get it in the refrigerator and it sets for about an hour, you'll see that it actually thickens up. And hopefully will be exactly what you were looking for. So for me, it's going to be the full 3/4 of a cup. So it is what it is. Okay, once you get your water nice and mixed in there, what you want to do next is get your salt. We haven't done this till now. So you want to start with 1/2 teaspoon. Just 1/2 teaspoon. I'm using the Celtic salt. You use whatever you want. Whichever salt you like is what you use. This is just what I like to do. I like it in certain recipes. This is one of them. Okay, so you want to stir this just till everything is, you know, I mean, it's already combined. You blended it. But just stir it. Make sure that you don't see any clumps from your blender to where you poured the water in. And then you want to just keep it moving. I do. I don't like it splashing everywhere because you're going to bring this to where it just starts to bubble. Once it starts to bubble, you need to take yourself a spoon, or I would use a spoon, but you do whatever you want to do. And you want to taste this. From there, that's going to tell you if you need to adjust your salt. So if you do, add a little bit more salt. If you don't, then don't. If you like cilantro, or as they say in other places, coriander, I would not use more than a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. You know, 2 being the max, because then you're going to end up with a more cilantro flavor and a less salsa flavor. Sometimes I'll add a tablespoon. I dry my own from my garden, so I'll add a tablespoon of the dried, which I've already cut up. If you have fresh, you want to cut that up to the size you like to see in your salsa. And then it's the same thing. You're going to add that right when you do your salt, or at least that's when I do. And so, like I said, once this starts to bubble, taste it. If you need to add more salt, just start a little at a time. I mean, just start shaking, stir, taste, and repeat until you get it to where you like it. Because we're all different. Some people like salty, like the ocean, and some of us like it kind of in the middle. I'm probably a middle person. So, yeah. I hope that you make this, and I hope you really enjoy it. If you want hotter, change your peppers out. I would still add at least 1 jalapeno, but you can change that out for the Scotch bonnets, or if you like them habaneros, you can do a combination. You find the flavor you want in your salsa, and then there you go. So I hope that this helps, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.